Hey, it's Secret Psychology, and today we're going to talk about how dispelling negative suggestions from your mind is exactly similar to driving off dangerous wild animals in nature. And so first of all, what exactly do I mean by negative suggestions? Well, basically there's two types. One comes from outside of yourself, comes from other people. It's basically the opinions of other people that are imposed upon you, like you can't do this, or you are this type of person, or whatever, And the second type comes from within yourself. It would be comes from your own insecurities or your own fears or whatever. You might even have like some fear of getting a disease or something like that. Just like some negative thoughts about yourself that invade your mind, either from within yourself or from other people. And so I want you to think about, okay, in nature, say there's a dog out in the forest. For example, I live out in the forest, right? I have a dog. Whenever there's wild animals that come here, what does he do? He barks and he chases them off, right? So basically, it's kind of maintaining a presence and maintaining territorial boundaries within nature and keeping the invading forces out, right? And in exactly the same way, that's what needs to be done within your own mind to dispel these negative suggestions. But even within nature, I mean, I gave the example of a dog, but this can be found really everywhere. I mean, just think, say, like an anthill. If something tries to invade an anthill, whether it be small insects or like a larger animal, the ants will attack and dispel the invading forces, right? Or even your own body, There's continuously sort of like bacteria, virus, and all sorts of invasive forces trying to get in, and your body is continuously fighting them off. It's like an outward force from within yourself, physiologically. Well, this is a psychological principle that works in exactly the same way, like I said. So basically what needs to happen is that these negative suggestions need to be treated as if they are like invasive forces from the outside trying to invade your mind, because actually that's exactly what they are. And you need to sort of, from within yourself, say, no, that's not going to happen. No, I'm not like this, and continuously fight them off. And it's not just like a one-time thing and it's over, It's like a dog keeping guard from wild animals. If something comes and the dog chases it off, its job is not just finished right there, right? It has to continuously keep guard and watch for more animals that are inevitably going to come and try to invade, and keep exerting an outward force of a territorial boundary. And this is very necessary because some negative suggestions they arise from very deep-seated insecurities, and it might even take years, years of fighting it off. But what will happen is, after a period of years, then the original negative suggestion that would affect you will no longer have any effect. Someone could say the same thing years down the road that now might affect you very deeply. It'll have zero effect because you've put in that time to the point where your psychological territorial boundaries kind of express themselves without having to exert additional force on your part. I just want to mention one last example, which is that of contracting disease and illness and health. Because it's very widely known in science, and it's common knowledge, the placebo effect, which is basically the effect of suggestion on the health of an individual. And in the same way that negative suggestions sort of in a psychological nature can be dispelled by fighting back, well, it's very widely known. Like some people, they'll hear news, like you have some disease and you have a certain amount of time and then you're going to die. Some people say, no, that's not going to happen. And they fight back and they fight and they fight and they fight and they win, right? It's exactly the same thing. I'm no medical expert, but like I said, it's common knowledge, the placebo effect. There is a very profound influence that the will and that suggestion can have upon a person's health. So basically, that's about all that I have to say for now. I didn't give too many specific examples of types of suggestions, but I'm sure that everyone watching this, you'll have your own examples from your own life because it's a universal thing. Everyone is affected by negative suggestions, probably on a daily basis. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, you can click the button and subscribe and join me for future content. And I will talk to you in the next video.